morning, students. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So we'll wait for another 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll start the session. Very less number of students, almost 8 minutes completed. Till now, very less strength. Okay, let's start the session. So the last class, we started discussing about interfaces topic. Now, in this session, we'll be closing off this interfaces if possible, or else in the evening session, we'll be closing off interfaces topic. So it is observed that in the evening session, most of the students are not at all attending the sessions. Try to attend the sessions today. I will be going with what packages concept. I will give some introduction about the packages, and Monday I will be discussing clearly about packages, which is very, very important, and scoring this interface also very, very important and scoring subject. So let's go with this interface once again, and then we'll be discussing about a few programs based on this interfaces. So actually, what we have two topics in Java. One is abstract class, other one is interfaces. And the purpose of these two topics are going to be what are going to achieve your data abstraction concept. Data abstraction is one of the object-oriented programming principle, and which shows only essential details, unessential details, things which are not required, and those things will be what are not going to be displayed in this data abstraction concept. That's what the data abstraction topic is speaking about. So this data abstraction, this data abstraction can be achieved in Java with the help of interfaces and abstract classes. And with the help of interfaces, 100% we can achieve what data abstraction concept by using what interfaces. But from Java 8 version onwards, again there is some loopholes, other interfaces also. I will be discussing that. Remember that data abstraction can be achieved by using abstract classes and then interfaces. Now, abstract methods. The method which has no body can be considered as abstract method. And a method without any implementation is called abstract method. And this abstract methods must be taken inside a class. Inside a class, if a class contains one abstract method, or if any method that doesn't has a body, then that method must be declared as abstract. If any class contains an abstract method, then that class must be declared as abstract class. Okay. So without body can be called as abstract method. And if you want to take without body, means we need to take a keyword called abstract over there. An abstract class is a class which contains abstract methods as well as concrete methods, or only abstract methods, or only concrete methods, or combination of abstract and concrete methods. An abstract class is declared by using a keyword called abstract. And if class contains at least one abstract method, and then class must be declared as abstract. Otherwise, it should be generates a compile time error. For abstract method, the implementation is provided in the subclass. Otherwise, the class must be declared as abstract, right? For abstract method, the implementation must be provided in the subclass. Otherwise, it can be considered as what? Abstract. For abstract class, we cannot create an object. We can create only a reference. With respect to abstract class reference, we can call the members of child class, provided that method signature must be available in the parent class. Okay. Abstract class is what to do, but not how to do. Abstract class consists of instance variables. The memory will be allocated for instance variables as soon as you create a child class object. Abstract class contains constructors, and these constructors will be called with the help of super function, which was automatically generated by the compiler. Okay, so these things you need to remember, and at least one or two programs by taking one abstract class for two abstract methods in that, and implementing that abstract, extending that abstract class with some other class, and then taking main function, creating object of child class, and then calling those methods or the variables. That kind of program you need to remember. And you write it as an example. Generally, this abstract classes and interfaces you might be getting for 5 marks and 5 marks. So you need to write theory followed by the program as well as output. These three things are very, very important. You need to write it. Okay. So this is what abstract classes we discussed. And coming to the next thing that we discussed is interfaces. So what do you mean by interface? Simply, abstract class means contains two methods, two types of methods, concrete methods as well as abstract methods. Concrete method means which contains body. Abstract method means which doesn't contain body. Combination of two things can be considered as what? A combination of two things might be there in abstract class. But coming to this interfaces, we'll be having two things. One is abstract method and final static variables, final static variables. That's it. An interface is declared by using a keyword called interface. An interface contains only abstract methods and constants. That's it. Apart from that, nothing will be there. If you take any variable into space a is equal to some value, then that variable is going to become a final variable or constant variable. If you take some method called void space m1 in an interface, then that method is going to be an abstract method. Even though if you provide my body also, it will be considered as abstract method. Okay. And interface is a pure abstract class, contains only abstract methods. By default, every method declared in the interface is considered as public abstract, and every variable that you are going to take inside interface can be considered as what? A static final variable. And for interface, we cannot create an object. We can only create reference part. Interface cannot have constructors. We are not in a position to take constructors for interfaces. An interface is what to do, but not how to do. Okay. So this is what the interface thinks. Okay. I think you've written this notes, these points, response students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So now between classes, you already know, if I have a class called A and I have a class called B, I want to extend the class A with respect to class B, means between these two things, what I'm going to use here, I'm going to use a keyword called extends. So between what a classes, if you want to extend a class with respect to another class, then we'll be using a keyword called extends. And if you want to implement an interface, generally, see what's the combination is going to be is that class, between the classes, extends is going to work. Between class and interface, we need to go with implements keyword. We need to go with what? Implements keyword. Suppose I have an interface called A, which contains a method called M1, and I would like to write a class, and this class wants to implement that interface. This class wants to implement that interface. Class implements interface. Interface contains abstract methods, and those abstract methods can be implemented in the class. So if you want to do such kind of things, then you need to take a keyword called implements between class and interface. Implements between class and interface. Between two interfaces, suppose I have an interface called A, and I would like to extend that interface. Between the interfaces, I need to use a keyword called extends. I need to use a keyword called what? Extends. I'm coming with one by one example, try to understand it. Have you noted down this thing? At least these 2 points. Make a note of these 2 points, students, fast. Between two interfaces, we use extends keyword. Between class and interface, we use implements keyword. Make a note of the students, fast. And today we'll be closing off 40% of or 30% of our unit 2, that is interfaces. Maximum we are going to cover in this class. Okay, interface streams are going to be the biggest topics. So interfaces we are going to cover. On Monday's class, I'm going to come up with the best topic, that is packages. Let's see what kind of schedule that they will be following. Today we'll be knowing that schedule on Mondays, regarding Mondays. If not, if they will be giving some vacation or something else, don't prepare that you will be having vacation and all. If not, definitely I am going to take the sessions. I'm going to take the classes. Okay. At least streams introduction, I will take. That's it. Now, if you have really a vacation, then I will take only 2 or 3 classes. That's it. Between the classes, here we have a class, and here we have a class. Now, let us assume that this is class A, or this is class B. Now, I would like to extend this class B with class A means. Then how I'm going to take here is I'm going to take class called demo. This class demo contains 2 variables, int a comma b semicolon, and then one method called m1 method, and some statements inside this m1 method. Okay, opening brace and closing brace. Now I'm going to take class space demo1 extends demo. Demo1 extends demo. That means whatever the variables that I have here, whatever the variables and methods that I have here, and those variables will come into this demo1. Those variables will come into this demo1. Additionally, I can write many methods over here. Many other methods and variables I can also take in demo1. If I take same variable names and same method names that I have in super class, that is demo class, then if I want to access those things, means I can use a keyword called super. I can use a keyword called what? Super. Right? Constructors will not come, private members will not come. This is what we learn with respect to what? Inheritance topic. Okay. Is it any doubts in this slide? A class will extend another class. This is an example class space demo, which contains 2 variables, 1 method, and another class contains class space demo1 extends demo. And between this opening and closing brace, we'll be taking what do you say? Things. Any doubts in this, students?
Clear.
Clear.
Clear, sir.
Fine. Now, between interface and class, here I have an interface called A, and this interface contains only one method that is void space m1, and this is going to be what? Abstract method. It's going to be an abstract method. Now I'm going to take a class called demo1. This demo1 implements an interface called A. This demo1 implements an interface called A, right? So class space demo1 implements A, and this A contains a method, m1 method, right? So in this demo1, I will be taking a method called m1, I will be taking a method called what? M1. I need to provide implementation for this method M1. Suppose the programmer is not interested to provide implementation for this M1 method. Then this demo1 class has to become which class? Respond. This demo1 class has to become which class?
Abstract class.
Very good. This demo1 class has to become what? Abstract class. The reason is that this is an abstract method. In interface, we have an abstract method. This interface was implemented by this demo1 class. This interface was implemented by this demo1 class. Now inside this demo1 class, I have what? M1 method. I need to provide implementation for M1 method. I need to provide implementation for M1 method, but I'm not providing implementation for M1 method. If I'm not providing implementation for this M1 method, means this abstract method will come into this class. This abstract method will come into this class. If this class contains abstract method, means then this class has to become what? Abstract class. Okay, if I'm going to provide implementation for this M1 method over here, if I'm providing implementation for this M1 method over here, then this class doesn't becomes an abstract class. This class does not becomes an abstract class. Clear with the students how to use implements keyword between interface and class? Respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So an interface, sorry, a class can implement any number of interfaces. Any number of interfaces. That means we can take what? Comma A, comma B, comma A, comma B, comma C. Like any number of interfaces this class is going to implement. Okay. Whereas your class can extend only one class. Your class can extend only one class, but a class can implement any number of interfaces. Any number of interfaces. If you take multiple interfaces, also implements A, comma B, comma C, no problem. Your class is going to implement. But whatever the variables methods that are there in A, comma B, comma C, those variables and methods must be implemented in your demo1 class. Those methods must be implemented in the demo1 class. If those methods are not going to be implemented in demo1 class, means then your compiler will generate an error. Make your demo1 as abstract. Like that, the compiler will say. Okay, clear with the students, everyone? Make a note of this. Make a note of this fast. 49 students are there. Only 2 students are giving response. What's the meaning in that? I don't know. Whether you're following or not, whether you're understanding it or not, it's $1 million question for me from beginning of the class. See, session should be an interactive. It should not be one way. If it is going to be one way, means I can go in jet speed. No one will stop me, right? Revising the things and again explaining you the things. It's not fair, students. Give me a response. At least those who are listening, at least those students has to give response. I hope 20-30 students are listening to my class. I have a confidence on me and I have a confidence on you also. At least out of this 49, 50 students, I hope 30, up to 30, they are listening to the class. That confidence. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Take this. So you can write here a Java class can extend only one class. You can write here a Java class can extend only one class. It cannot extend more than one class. You can make a note, one point here, students. A Java class can extend only one class. A Java class can extend only one class. Completed?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Next. Take this example. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Next, take one point here. a Java class can implement a Java class can implement any number of interfaces. A Java class can implement any number of interfaces. A Java class can implement any number of interfaces. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now between the interfaces and the class, between interfaces and class, you can see here, I have a class called, I have an interface called A. I have an interface called what? A. And this interface A consists of two methods, M1 method, M2 method, consists of two methods, M1 method, M2 method. And we have an interface called B. We have an interface called B, and this interface B extends A. This interface B extends what? A. That means whatever the methods that I have, whatever the methods that I'm going to have in this interface A, and all these methods will come into this interface B. All these methods will come into this interface B. That means I have two methods over here, and these two methods will come into this interface B. That means I have M1 method as well as M2 method. The two methods will come into this interface B, and I have what in this interface B again I have what M3 method and then M4 method. Totally four methods will come into this demo. Four methods will come into this demo class. Four methods has to be, this demo class has to implement this four methods. This demo class has to implement this four methods. If demo class is not implementing four methods, then this class has to become abstract class. You can observe here, this B is interface, A is interface, B is interface, A is interface. Now I'm going to extend this B with respect to A. I'm going to extend this B with respect to what? A. And then I'm going with the class demo implements B. Class demo implements B. Okay, that means between two interfaces, we'll be using a keyword called extends. Between class and interface, we'll be using a keyword called implements. We'll be using a keyword called what? Implements. Is it clear for you? Students, respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right. Fine. Make a note of this, and then we'll be going with multiple inheritance in Java through interfaces. Multiple inheritance we'll be discussing. Make a note of this, students, fast.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead, Sridhar.
ఇంటర్ఫేస్ లో క్లాస్ ని ఇన్హెరిట్ చేసుకోలేమా సార్?
Interface lo class ni inherit. I didn't get your point. What you're saying?
అంటే ఇంప్లిమెంట్స్ కీవర్డ్ వాడి ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఏ ఇంప్లిమెంట్స్ క్లాస్ బి అని ఏమైనా రాసుకోవడానికి ప్రొవిజన్ ఉంది?
Oh, you're talking about like that interface B implements. No, not possible, Srikar. The thing is, implements keyword itself says that the demo is taking responsibility to implement the methods which were there in B. Okay, class demo implements B. The meaning of that is B contains some specifications. That means four methods are there, and this demo is taking responsibility to implement that four methods. Interface, what implements class means, it doesn't make any sense because the class is going to implement it. Okay, interface cannot implement. Interface always specifies the specification. That's the reason we are not in a position to do it reverse. I will be showing you that. I will be taking one simple Java file. I will be discussing. I will be showing you. Right?
Okay.
Completed?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let's go with same example. What I had taken over here. Notepad space demo. Oh, sorry, I mean nested interface. CV dot. And nested interface topic is the very, very important and interesting topic. We'll be discussing those understood all basic things. They can easily understood it. Demo1.java. Now I'm going with class demo1 over here. Inside this class demo1, I'm going to take main method public static void main. Now I'm going with one simple interface over here, small letter interface, space A, opening brace and closing brace. Or else we'll be going with an example which was given in the notes. Yeah, we'll be going with this example. See, students, what I'm doing is I'm taking one interface over here. Interface bank, interface bank, and inside this I'm taking one method, abstract method, float space rate of interest. Float space rate of interest. Okay. Now I'm going with SBI class. This SBI class implements bank. Implements bank. Bank contains only one method, that is rate of interest method, and this SBI class has to implement this rate of interest method. Rate of interest method. So it's implementing the rate of interest method. This rate of interest method doesn't take any arguments, but it returns some floating point value. It returns some floating point value. And inside this, I'm taking one simple instruction, return 9.15 value, float value. After that, we'll be going with PNB, Punjab National Bank, implements this bank. And this bank contains, again, implementing the method which is there in bank interface, rate of interest, return 9.7F, return 9.7F. Okay, these are the two classes. These are the two classes, SBI class, PNB bank class, are implementing bank interface. There is only one interface called bank, and this bank interface was implemented by what? Two banks, SBI as well as PNB bank. And they are returning what? The float value. They are returning what? Float value. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to create an object. I can create an object for PNB, no problem. If I create PNB, I can call the method of PNB. I can call method of SBI, no problem. I will be getting what? SBI method only. But what I mean to say is, I'm creating an object of SBI. I'm assigning it to what? Interface. This is not, students, this is not, what do you say? SBI object. What happened is here I'm taking SBI object, I'm assigning to bank interface. Bank, this bank is what? Interface. This bank interface reference variable, I'm assigning what? SBI what object? SBI object. After that, what I'm doing is I'm going to call system.out.println rate of interest b dot rate of interest. B dot rate of interest. Okay. Now again, what I'm doing is B is assigned with new PNB. B is assigned with again new PNB. Now again, I'm going to call the method. That means another object I created, same reference I'm using, students. This step, up to this step, your B is pointing to SBI object. After, from this step onwards, I'm overriding the B. That means I'm making B to point to PNB bank. That means one single reference, I'm pointing it to what? Two different things. Suppose I have one more method in this. Let us assume that in SBI, I have one more method in this. I'm going to take one more method called public space, float space, house loan. I'm going to take. Okay, just I'm going to take it as -1. I'm going to take it as -1. But when I'm going to take this, that is system.out.println off, I'm going to take like this, house loan, right? Here, the function name is also house loan. Now, what happens with this instruction? Is it executes this instruction? Respond. Why?
SBI class lo తీసుకుంది.
What happens? Why it doesn't executes?
B refers to interface, sir. Interface lo method లేదు.
Interface lo a method లేదు, right? Okay. Any other student? Students, if you know answer, try to give an answer either in chat or please. Right? So it generates what? Error. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ what we have done is we created SBI object, and that SBI object we assigned it to a bank reference students, right? So SBI bank చూడండి, బ్యాంక్ లో ఒక మెథడ్ ఉంది రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అని. ఈ మెథడ్ కి బ్యాంక్ లో ఒక మెథడ్ ఉంది. The name of this method is rate of interest method. This rate of interest method is there in bank. But in SBI, this rate of interest method was implemented. House loan method is there, but house loan method is not available in bank. You can see here, I created SBI object. I assigned it to bank interface, not SBI object. And it's not SBI reference. If it is an SBI reference, I will be getting house loan, but it is a bank interface. So with respect to this reference, I can call the members of SBI, provided that the method signature must be available in bank. SBI లో ఉన్న మెథడ్ సిగ్నేచర్ బ్యాంక్ లో ఉండాలి. సో SBI లో రెండు మెథడ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఒకటి రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ మెథడ్, ఇంకోటి హౌస్ లోన్ మెథడ్. సో ఈ రెండు మెథడ్స్ లో SBI లో ఏ మెథడ్ ఒక సిగ్నేచర్ ఉంది, రేట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ యొక్క మెథడ్ సిగ్నేచర్ ఉంది. సో ఐ కెన్ కాల్ దిస్ మెథడ్ ఓన్లీ. I cannot call house loan method. If I'm trying to take this, then Java compiler will generate an error over here. Right? Java C space demo1 dot Java. Java C space demo1 dot Java, and then Java demo. Right? It generates an error. Variable B of type bank method house loan generating an error. So take this within the command lines, save it. Java C demo1 dot Java, Java -cp. Okay, rate of interest of SBI and rate of interest of PN. Clear with this, students, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I'm taking
Yes,
something
yes.
here into space. Fixed interest, that is equal to, I'm taking 12.353 semicolon. Fixed interest. Now this can be accessed by using interface name. Interface name, right? So just I'm going to take here interface name. It's a static variable, right? So we can access by using interface name. Fixed interest plus, what's the interface name we have taken? Bank dot, and what's the variable name here? Fixed interest. Bank dot fixed interest. Save it. Now let us compile this. Oh, we have not taken F over there. Here it should be float. And we'll be taking double, that no issue. Okay, fixed rate interest. Clear with this, students? Everyone? So interface contains variables as well as methods, and this was implemented by two classes over here. Right? So make a note of the, students. Many programs are there to discuss, especially inheritance topic is there to discuss. Make a note of the, students. And today, don't miss the class. Afternoon session class, don't miss it. And Monday onwards, most probably will not be taking any afternoon sessions and all, right? Only morning sessions we'll be discussing. Let's see what the schedule that they are planning. We don't know. Do you have any information, Srikar? Completed? At least up to this.
Yes, sir.
Don't miss today's class, students. Very, very interesting today. Interfaces topic. Make a note of this. Completed?
No, sir.
And here you will be getting error. Students completed, respond. Only one student had given response. What about remaining? Kartikeya is there or not?
Sir,
Yes. Raseva.
it is assessment, sir.
Not assessment. Babu. This program have you completed or not?
No, sir. సగం ఉంది ఎస్బీఐ దగ్గర కింద.
This is PNB class, SBI class. Completed this? Respond, students.
Yes, sir. Main means better.
Main method.
Yes.
So next topic is, next two more topics are there to discuss the interface, multiple inheritance and then nested interfaces. That's it. These two topics are there. If we discuss two topics, then there is a story. It's very simple topics only, very, very simple topics. How multiple inheritance is going to be achieved in Java and nested interfaces. Nested. Completed. You might be getting a question in 5 marks and 10 marks that nested interfaces in Java. So not nested interfaces and how multiple inheritance is achieved in Java. Multiple inheritance cannot be achieved in Java through classes, but it can be achieved through interfaces. And how it is going to be achieved, that will be discussed. Completed, respond. Can I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Fine. Now let's go with the thing. Fine. So this is what the things that we discussed here. So first, between the classes, extends keyword, between class and interface, implements keyword, between interfaces, we need to go with what? Extends keyword. And here is the program where we are taking one simple interface and we are taking what? We are implemented that interface with two things. Now let's take one more example here. What Srikar just now asked, you want to take some interface B implements, let's take class, right?
Sir, class abstract class la తీసుకోండి సార్.
ఈ class abstract class అని తీసుకోవాలా?
అవును సార్.
I think it won't possible if you take abstract class also. Interface B implements PNB, one error. Okay, it doesn't allow that. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
If you take normal class also, it generates an error sticker. Right? Class implements interface, but interface cannot implement class. And interface cannot extend abstract class. Let's see whether interface will extend abstract class or not. No. PNB is abstract, cannot be instantiated. Here we have what? Interface extends PNB. Interface expected here. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Right. So generally your interface contains two things, variables and methods, and these two things were taken over here. And between interfaces, we'll be using a keyword called extends, and between class and interface, we'll be using a keyword called implements, right? So this is what interface program. Now let's see how interface is going to be achieved, how multiple inheritance is going to be achieved in Java. So if class implements interfaces or an interface extends multiple interfaces, then it is known as multiple inheritance. See, what do you mean by multiple inheritance as per your knowledge? Suppose we have class A, we have class B. From these two classes, we are getting a class called C. We are getting a class called C. Here this is class A. And this is what? A class B. From these two classes, we are getting a class called C. Right? Now this C, there is a problem in C++. Suppose I have a method called M1 method in A as well as M1 method in B. M1 method in B. If I create C object with respect to this child class object, if I call M1, which method M1 I used to get? Can anyone respond? Which method M1 I used to get? Respond, students. Do you know that at least A lo M1 method undi, B lo M1 method undi, or function undi? Then C object creates this and I would like to call M1 method from with respect to the C object. Then which method is going to be called? Students respond.
Ambiguity ఉంటుంది.
It generates an error or it gives any one method? Respond.
Error.
Error. What error it generates in C++? What error it generates, students?
Scope resolution operator use చేసి class నుండి పంపుతారు సార్. C++
లో ఎర్రర్ వస్తుందా రాదా?
వస్తుంది సార్.
ఏం ఎర్రర్ వస్తుంది? ambiguous error వస్తుంది. Have you seen error?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen ambiguous error? Or else at least you know that there will be an error, right? So error ni resolve చేయడానికి ఏం చెప్తారు మీకు C++ లో? What they said?
Scope resolution operator అన్న వాడాలి, virtual keyword అన్న వాడాలి అన్న.
Yes, virtual keyword we need to use. Suppose if I use virtual for M1 method of A, suppose ఇక్కడ నేను virtual keyword use చేశాను. Virtual keyword M1 కి use చేశాను. Use చేసినప్పుడు ఏం జరుగుతుంది? I used to get B method. If I use virtual keyword for B method, then I used to get what? I need to remove virtual method of virtual keyword for B A method. Then I will be getting A method. This is going to be happened over there, students. That means indirectly we are blocking any one method and we are accessing other method, right? It's long time for me saying the C++. Is it correct? Respond. Students respond. Have you learned C++ or not? So without knowing this basic things, how it is going to be, students? Oh, at that time also it is online, right? Okay, fine. So this was a problem that we have. That's the reason Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. Java does not support multiple inheritance through classes, but it supports multiple inheritance through interfaces. See, I have an interface. This contains no method. This no body. This also contains a methods, no body. And from these two things, I'm going to implement a class. That means class A implements interfaces. Two interfaces it implements. Two interfaces it implements. Both interfaces contains a method. If same methods also there, same method name is also there, and both interfaces also doesn't matters. It doesn't matters. Okay, fine. So a class can implement two interfaces. That's what. If a class implements multiple interfaces, or an interface extends multiple interfaces, then it is known as multiple inheritance. Then known as what? Multiple inheritance. That means two interfaces nunchi oka class implement, oka class two interfaces ni implement chestunna, or oka interface two interfaces ni extend chestunna gaani, then it can be called as what? Multiple inheritance in Java. Multiple inheritance is not supported in the case of classes because of ambiguity error, because of ambiguity. However, it is not supported in case of an interface because there is no ambiguity. However, it is not supported. It is supported in case of interfaces because there is no ambiguity. Because implementation is provided by the implementation class. Suppose here I have interface A, interface B. Interface A and B has same method also, no problem. Because the implementation for that method must be provided by the child class only. Implemented class only, right? No problem over there. That's the reason Java is going to support multiple inheritance through interfaces. Multiple inheritance through interfaces. Is it clear?
Clear.
Only one student understood it. What about remaining?
Yes, sir.
Right. Make a note of this, students. In the afternoon session, we'll be discussing the programming part of this. Make a note fast.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead fast.
సార్ ఇంటర్ఫేస్ ఏ లో ఎక్స్ అనే వేరియబుల్ ఉంది, దానికి 5 అని అసైన్ చేశాను. ఇంటర్ఫేస్ బి లో కూడా ఎక్స్ అనే ఉంది, దానికి 10 అని అసైన్ చేశాను. ఈ రెండింటి నుంచి మనం క్లాస్ ఏబి అనే దాన్ని ఇంప్లిమెంట్ చేస్తున్నాం. అప్పుడు ఎట్లా సార్?
చెప్పు ఎట్లా గెస్ చేయి. Guess it, Gayatri. What will be happen? What will happen? Srigar, guess it. The question which was asked by Gayatri. Or 519. Yes, guess it. What will be getting? Whether will be getting error or it will be executed. Huh? Respond. Okay, fine. I will discuss this thing address in the afternoon session. Have you noted down this? Have you noted it down?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So those who have doubts, you can stay. Otherwise, you can leave. I have a meeting again.